So a nursing home has been forced to apologize for hiring a stripper to perform for senior citizens in wheelchairs.
I don't see the problem with this.
Neither do I. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, we are just days away from coming out west.
It's true.
We're going to be doing a live show.
We're coming everywhere.
We're not really. We're only coming in 3 places.
Only if you slid into our DMs and said me, then potentially we might be coming everywhere.
That sounds problematic, and might want to cut that out.
Yep.
Just for your own safety. Edmonton, we're going to be in your town on Monday. We're going to be doing a live show. It's going to be really fun at 9910. We can't wait. We've got a fucking sick pair of guests. Ooh, just dropped it. Pair of guests lined up for the Monday night show. And then the 21st, I believe that's a Wednesday. We're going to be doing a show in Vancouver at Biltmore Theatre, the Biltmore Cabaret, rather. And then the following Saturday, I believe, on the 24th, we're going to be doing a show in Calgary, which the first time I've ever said the word Calgary.
You sound like
I usually just say Calgary.
Yeah. I mean, you're...
Who says Calgary?
When you said that, I looked at Taylor. I was like...
Americans say Calgary.
Did he?
No, I think Calgarians say Calgary.
No.
Don't they? No, dude. Out west, they're like Calgary.
No.
Dude, they do. They're all fucked up out there. They say fucking weird.
You know what they say like this? Calgary? Calgary?
They're like Calgary.
They say Calgary?
They get like the guttural in the throat. They're like Calgary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the
Scots.
It's all I was gonna say German.
Anyway, tickets are on sale. You can find the ticket links in the show notes below. And let's get right into it today. This story, by God. Nursing home. Nursing home.
Say no more.
Nursing home hires stripper for seniors in wheelchairs.
Oh, I saw this.
I saw this.
And they had to come out and say, we are very sorry.
Where did I see this? I saw maybe on Instagram.
This is all over the fucking Instagram and TikTok right now. So a nursing home has been forced to apologize for hiring a stripper to perform for senior citizens in wheelchairs.
I don't see the problem with this.
Neither do I. To me, it sounds kind of fun. The Taiwan Veterans Home, a state-run facility for retired Army personnel in Taiwan, paid the adult entertainer for a steamy show to celebrate Mid-Autumn Festival, an important holiday in Chinese culture whereby people gather to celebrate the rice and wheat harvest of the season. Kind of an interesting... kind of an interesting festival to be celebrating with a stripper.
Definitely,
but, hey,
definitely raises some questions.
I mean, I don't know though. It kind of makes sense to me. I mean, if you're like, think about like if you're celebrating something and like everybody's like super stoked because like the harvest was so
like
good
when the stoke is high,
right? Because like it's like you've done this work all summer long. You put in this incredible effort to harvest all of the things you harvest.
Yep.
And then at the end, when the harvest yields this incredible result, you're so excited and you feel so good.
Yeah. You get someone to shake their tits or their dick in your face.
Well, the sheer amount of times that you use the word harvest made me really come around to the idea. So I guess the question is, did they want a stripper to be there? And if the answer is yes, then what's there to apologize for?
Well, someone did. And I think that was the problem. There was one person who might have, and then maybe a bunch of other people that were like, what the fuck is this? However, video of the raunchy performance, which took place last Thursday, was filmed by an attendee before it was posted on social media and went viral. The kinky clip shows the masked up erotic dancer clad in lacy lingerie. You can see her here giving this old man probably a fucking heart attack. She was giving an elderly man a lap dance and thrusting her breasts into his face. The man doesn't appear to mind, however, and can be seen squeezing the woman's assets as she enthusiastically writhes her body. Other nursing home residents clapped along enthusiastically, seeming to relish the raunchy show.
You know what I just got a huge throwback to? Take one guess at what's going through my mind right now.
The first time you saw Magic Mike.
Japanese Businessman. 10-minute pod.
Oh, yeah.
I listened to that
totally.
5 days ago, and I almost died.
Yeah.
Unrelated note, best donuts I've ever had. Taiwan.
Interesting. Yep. Probably, well, looks like could also be the best place you've had other things too. It seems like a very fun place.
I didn't get to any strip clubs, but great donuts.
The senior care facility was hit with backlash and subsequently released a statement saying the intention of the event was to entertain residents and make them happy. I'm almost guaranteeing the intention was met. We are very sorry for the offense that it was caused.
Who is offended?
I mean...
I mean, you can see how some people might be offended. I mean, like
I can, but like if you don't like it, you don't have to go to the show. I mean,
you know who I bet was offended? You know who I bet was offended?
Who?
The
who?
son or daughter who is related to the old man grabbing the breasts and whose face is just being plastered across the internet. With having the time of his life.
Brian, we don't live in a world where people choose to just not participate in things they don't like.
But because I think of like when
not where we live.
When my grandparents went into an old age home, like one of the perks of the home was like that there were weekly or nightly events, and you could go down to like the meal area and like take part in the event. Assuming you were interested in taking part in that event.
Well, this next paragraph I think is so perfect. A nursing home spokesman added that the Mid-Autumn Festival parties had been canceled at the nursing home the previous years due to the COVID pandemic. To lift residents' spirits, they arranged for the stripper to perform a show. It's like
they were making up for lost time.
Yeah, it's like they go, you know what, guys, it's been a really fucking tough 2 years. We need to come in. Like it was some young buck that just graduated from marketing
school. We need to ruffle some feathers.
And he was like, we need to come back with a splash, okay? I know a place.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. Hear me out. I know a place. However, they conceded that the erotic dancer's actions were a bit too enthusiastic and fiery, and they would be more cautious when planning such events in the future. Now, they do have an orgy plan for the next autumn festival coming, but
and this was supposed to run alongside indoor fireworks, which they ended up canceling.
They said there was also more sedate games of bingo and some karaoke in an adjoining nursing hall.
Dude, this is such a
no one attended those, and they all fucking wheeled over to the stripper. They were
I'm sure they did. I'm curious what the if anybody called to book into that seniors home, if there's like the wait list was increased.
Oh my God, dude.
After this festival.
It's a marketing ploy for sure.
That kid that just graduated who came in there and brought this forward. I mean, they're slapping him on the wrist, but really they're giving him a massive fucking pay.
Absolutely.
Video shows the residents and the stripper remained COVID safe at all times, which is great. However, keeping face masks on throughout the erotic show. The Mid-Autumn Festival is one of the most important holidays in Asian culture. In China, the celebration is marked by reunions, Thanksgiving for harvests.
In China or in Taiwan?
In prayers for good fortune. Well, in this article, they are saying China. New York Post, the annual event, which this year fell on September 10th, is known as the Moon Festival or the Moon Cake Festival, which also very fitting name to have a stripper come in there. Moon Cake Festival. I mean, I can picture what that might look like. You know what I mean?
Caking and hovering.
A little bit of caking and hovering, as our friend Keith would say, which I honestly don't know what the fuck that meant.
I'm sure we could give it a quick Google.
Jared, as you say that joke with your with that dad energy, with that mustache and mullet, it's very on brand.
Yeah, you've got mad dad energy right now.
Yeah, dad with really well done manicured nails and nails.
Okay, well, I mean, I chose to leave out some of your
nails look really good.
Thanks. Love that story. That made my day reading that. And hey, listen, if you're in a nursing home and you are, I don't know, on like the students' council or whatever the equivalent is for nursing homes, and you're trying to like submit ideas for the next cool thing you could do to kind of bring back some levity and life to those oftentimes a little bit drab places to be for some folks. Just fucking call up the Brass Rail or whatever your local
Where's the Brass
joint
Rail?
is, Toronto, and get it going. Let's get a fucking.
Not very many
show
strip
going.
clubs.
There's none here.
There's none here.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is there's
many in Toronto.
I was listening to this
quite a few,
podcast about a startup academy called YC, and there was a guy it's like a very prestigious academy for startups to be a part of, and one of the guys there was making a recommendation to this company on where they should advertise online, and their company was an online dating company,
Mm.
and online dating companies aren't allowed to advertise on Facebook because there's a
Interesting.
lot of like sex trafficking companies that are sort of posing as online dating
Oh,
companies.
yeah, interesting.
So there's no online dating companies
So
that
like
can
even
advertise on
like
Facebook.
Like
reputable
Bumble.
ones like Bumble
Right.
or Tinder or something like that.
So this person suggested advertising on porn sites
Yep.
because the cost for advertising is inexpensive.
You don't use
relative
Fuckbook?
to. is that
I'm gonna look that up.
is that a real site? 'Cause
Fuckbook.
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure
I
it
don't even
is.
have to ask that
Fuckbook.
question.
Yeah. Fuckbook.com. Are you looking for pleasure?
Dude, in girls in your
Join
area.
and meet people.
They're always in your area.
I want to see somebody on LinkedIn who's like an expert at Fuckbook ads manager.
I just signed up using your email, Brian.
Oh wait, it's already taken.
This email has already been used to establish an account.
Yeah. Do you guys want to see a pretty wholesome and funny video?
Yes.
Please.
So this young man, his partner brings him a what he believes is a COVID test, and he has a bit of a reaction to it.
Why would you come over?
What?
Are
You're
you-
not happy?
Dude, I'm going on a trip next week.
What do you? What does next week have to do with anything?
Dude. No, cause
Do you know what that is?
bro.
Do you know what that is?
Why did you come over?
Bro.
You know I have a trip next week and it's for work. I can't miss that.
The
you
stupidity
know what
of this
that is?
person
Yes,
is-
but I can't miss my trip.
What?
But
Why would you have to miss your
It's
trip?
not like a funny joke either. You know my grandma is like not okay right now. And
What?
No, it's not funny. I don't even know why
What
you're
is
recording
that?
Like that's
What
funny.
is that?
You have COVID.
Wow.
She was holding a test strip, which was actually a positive pregnancy test strip.
I mean, I
And
can
the
like.
poor guy just was like, just couldn't. I mean, hey, COVID on the brain, you know? It's like,
I know it. If he was drunk,
yeah, let's fucking shit on him. Dude, fuck that guy. What a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? And also, gonna be a bad dad. Like, bad father. And to the woman who posted that, you should leave him. What a horrible dude.
I don't get it. It's so dumb.
You should use his
I think it's
deductive
cute.
reason.
I think
You
it's cute.
cute?
Yeah, I think it's cute.
Oh, I think it's silly.
I love
think
that
it's
shit.
cute too, actually.
I love videos of people like revealing their pregnancy to their partner and like the varying different reactions. Like there was one that came out a while ago, and it was this dude, and he was like, "No, oh no, come on, no, you're fucking with me, no, come on," and he like goes downstairs. He's like looking for like the marker that she used to like add the extra strip. Totally freaking out, and you can tell that like, and she's giggling like crazy. So you can kind of tell there's like a playful, like if you didn't know better, you'd be like, oh, this is like a Murray moment, you know, like you are not,
Murray.
like you are the
Maury?
father, and or Maury, yeah, is it not Murray? Maury Povich, yeah.
Maury Povich.
Maury,
Dude, yeah.
that show,
Crazy. Ran for
That
a
was
long time.
crazy,
Dude,
yeah.
Maury's like WWE.
yeah, for moms,
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people who are doing nothing.
yeah.
Jerry Springer.
Yeah, and anybody who watches that show, fuck those people. You know what I mean, Tay? I know what's up, dude. We know what's up. So anyway, fuck that guy. Good luck finding another partner.
Oh God, I can't even remember what it was like to find out that we were pregnant. Because it was like because we did
Well,
IVF.
Yeah, and you had like, yeah, there was no surprise, really.
Yeah,
it
there
was
was
just
no-
doctors going,
There was no
here are your
surprise.
chances. Come back next week.
Yeah, there was no surprise.
Your chances have reduced.
Although
Come
I
back
do
next week.
remember when we found out if it was going to be a boy or a girl.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, I
And-
remember that too. When you had all the balloons and then you had to pop them, and inside them there's different
No.
colored confetti.
No.
But there were like 7 of the balloons were filled with white confetti, so they weren't the actual one you were looking for. And then when you finally popped the right one, you saw that it
Hey,
was pink.
I got an idea for a gender reveal party. Okay, you wheel in a cake. All right, a giant cake, And
The fourth Harry Potter, where they do the whole competition, that's the gender reveal.
no. You wheel a gigantic cake, right? You get the whole family around, and then out of the cake pops a human in a, name the time of the year. So if it's like, if it's in the spring, it's like it's an Easter bunny, right? Easter bunny gets out, starts dancing, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's it gonna be?" And it just starts taking all of its fucking costume off. And if it's a stripper swinging a dick, then
Right.
you got a boy.
Yeah.
And if it's a
Right.
stripper shaking her tatas, you got a
what
girl.
that's what they do at the nursing home. But what I did, we found out.
By the way,
from,
gender reveal parties are.
they're silly.
Let's not. Let's just not.
Let's just not, because you're dumb.
Yeah.
Um,
And also your risk of, I don't know, blowing a fucking finger off, just kind of like, I don't like, we're just taking this thing way too far. I mean, it's too far, period. But like once you start adding, I don't know, explosives and
yeah,
like,
I mean, definitely scale it back before explosives.
fucking
Which,
hell.
where Kyla handed me a piece of paper, but it had whether it was a boy or a girl, but it also had like all of this genetic testing
Mhm.
and like information on like, are they susceptible to like a plethora of genetic conditions. And so I just ignored the boy or girl part, and I was looking at the other.
Yeah, you
the
were
other-
like, is this
the
a
other
cystic
section.
fibrosis reveal party?
Yeah, and I was looking at the sheet, and I was just looking intently, expressionless, down as I went. No, okay, no.
Like,
no.
will cilantro taste like
Kyla-
soap
And
for this
Kyla was
baby?
going, and Kyla was taking a video of me going, and she was like prodding me, like, "Don't you see? Don't you see?" Like that. Like, "Don't you see? Oh, what?" But, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "It's a girl," and I was like, "Oh,
You're like, I got to go on a work trip next
great."
week.
Leave me alone. I'm working. This story is a bit fucky. And it's coming out of the BC, which we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there next week. Come out to our live show. Get a ticket.
Vancouver.
But this lady, do not get a ticket to our live show. Do not want to see you. Period. 11 assault charges laid against fake nurse who worked at Vancouver Hospital for a year.
Wow.
Catch me
Bridget,
if you can.
yeah,
That's exactly what I thought of. Yeah.
yeah. Although not nearly as charming and handsome as Mr.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Bridget Clairot, the woman who impersonated a nurse for a year at BC Women's Hospital, has been charged with a long list of new offenses, including 11 counts of assault and assault with a weapon. In all, 15 charges were sworn in Vancouver Provincial Court on Wednesday, according to the court records. Clairot, 50, is now accused of 8 counts of assault with a weapon, 3 counts of assault, 4 counts of using a forged document, and 1 count of fraud over $5,000, and impersonation with intent to gain advantage. The assault charges involve 10 individual women who were all patients at the hospital. Here is a photo of Bridget. And let me tell you, I don't want to be mean, but if this was my nurse, I would suspect something's up.
Kind of looks like a mugshot of.
This
It looks like a
this woman
mugshot of
is-
Cruella DeVille.
Yeah, this woman looks like a fucking evil. This woman looks like an evil character from a Disney movie.
To be fair, it's a mugshot.
Yeah, a mugshot, but she's done up.
She is done up.
Look at those lashes.
She's got lashes, dude. She's got lashes. For
What's the
days.
villain from The Little Mermaid?
Ursula.
Ursula. It's
Yeah.
like a mix of like Ursula and Cruella DeVille.
Yes, dude. Yeah. Good job.
So was she being shitty to patients?
Oh, was she ever?
What
Yeah.
was her deal? What, in a year?
Yeah, Vancouver police spokesperson Sergeant Steve Addison said investigators have now spoken to more than 40 alleged victims from Clairot's time in the city. He said, quote, "We've been working very closely with all those victims to conduct investigations. And as you can imagine, these investigations are complicated, not just from the passage of time, but also because we're dealing with very personal stories," he told CBC. Addison said several investigations are still underway and more charges are possible. Fraud and impersonation charges against Clairot were first announced in Vancouver in November. She worked as a perioperative nurse, which I don't know what perioperative is. Perioperative nurse at the hospital from June 2020.
Perioperative? Maybe?
Yeah, perioperative. There you go. Yeah. June 2020 to June 2021. But what is perioperative?
Good question.
Goog.
Assisting in an untold number of surgeries. Oof.
This is crazy. Like the thing that blows my mind that I immediately think about is like how? Like
How?
how do you
Yeah.
how do
How did
you
you- how-
fake that?
Well, maybe she has some
So-
training and never got her degree
Could be
or
that.
diploma
Could be
or
that,
whatever.
yeah.
Perioperative period is the time period patient's period of a patient's surgical procedure. So this evil Disney princess was in the surgery room, which that's kind of scary. Several patients have told CBC she provided them with pain medication or sedation during their proceedings. Spokespeople for the hospital's operator, the Provincial Health Services Authority, declined to comment on Friday on the new charges laid against Claro. They pointed instead to a written statement from December that says the hospital has done a review to make sure that there are no other imposters in the system and that this incident serves as a, quote, unfortunate reminder that individuals with criminal intent exist in our world and can be motivated to bring harm to both people and organizations. Lawyer Scott Stanley, who represents a number of the patients treated by Claro at the women's hospital, addressed the new charges in a written statement. When people have been fooled, there can be a temptation to think it was at the hand of a genius. Often, it is a failure to follow basic common sense procedures, he said. These recent charges against Miss Claro illustrate the need for institutions to have such procedures in place and to follow them. So at least 67 adult convictions. This is far from the first time Claro has been accused of crimes related to impersonation. So this woman really is like kind of an evil mastermind.
You know what the best twist of this entire story would be is if she was actually
The daughter of Frank Abagnale.
well, that would be good, but it would be better if she was actually on season 2 of The Rehearsal, and it was actually just her job to go and pretend to be
Yeah.
a nurse. and
Surprise
she-
twist.
She has a long criminal history across North America with at least 67 convictions as an adult, including several for pretending to be a nurse or a teacher. She is still wanted on 2 active warrants in Florida and 1 in Colorado. Claro is currently in prison after receiving a 7-year prison sentence for crimes including impersonation, assault with a weapon, and assault related to her time posing as a nurse at a fertility clinic and a dental clinic in Ottawa for a few weeks in the summer of 2021. Like, this woman's been on a fucking rampage. It really is catch me if
Whoa.
you can, but like just not nearly as savvy. Patients from BC Women's Hospital have filed a proposed class action lawsuit accusing PHSA of negligence. In response to those allegations, the PHSA denied that administrators should have known Claro was a phony and said it took all reasonable steps to confirm she was a qualified nurse. The PHSA response also reveals that Claro's colleagues began complaining she was rude and disrespectful within weeks after she started at the hospital. She was placed on administrative leave for a few weeks in the fall of 2020 while administrators investigated 5 separate incidents, including using force on a patient and saying she wanted to punch or hit a colleague in the face.
Dude, that's so funny that she
It's crazy.
impersonated doing this job and then got placed on administrative leave where she was probably being paid
Yeah.
to do the job that she's not supposed to have in the first
Yeah.
place.
The thing that makes my brain hurt when I try to think of this is like you have somebody who's smart enough to like fool people that she is competent and able to do this job, but then goes and fucks it up so bad by doing such a bad job at doing the job. Like,
I mean, it really is like a true blend of an actual narcissistic Machiavellian, like that through and through. Like that is what
It's quite
this person is.
it's
you
quite
know, like-
fascinating.
It's crazy
is.
too that like after having such a troubled past and like all of this history with the law and then getting into this position where she's working at a hospital and like
Mhm.
she's fooled enough people that she could go on like having a steady living probably at that point,
Yeah.
but then threatens to
Yeah.
beat
Well,
up
I think there's
nurses and patients.
more going on.
Of
Yeah.
course,
Under the
yeah,
hood.
of course.
That's getting in the way. Completely unrelated, but something that I read yesterday that you were talking about Vancouver, so this is where my mind went. Did you guys know that somebody twice since 2019 intentionally cut the cables to the Sea to Sky gondola,
No,
and
What?
all the gondolas crashed to
With
the
with people in
no,
them.
not with nobody was on them. One time it almost killed a security guard that was underneath one.
Whoa.
And it cost them $10 million to repair. And there's a $500,000 reward being offered
To anyone,
to like a tip
yeah.
that leads to the arrest of
Well,
the person.
which
I
is
think the same person did it both times.
500,000. That's a lot of money, and kind of makes sense. That makes sense for the crime there. I get that. There was a recent vandalism here in Halifax a couple of like a month ago, and it was on these old like very old, very beautiful trees in our public gardens. And I guess the person that did it, they seem to think like knew exactly what they needed to do to fuck these trees permanently.
Like probably an arborist working in Halifax.
Yeah, with a grudge, you know, or something
Possibly
like
a disgruntled ex-employee.
that. Possibly, that's what I think
dude,
too.
We're getting
Yeah.
into.
That's what I think.
Have
But-
you guys read Encyclopedia Brown?
Did you know what they're offering as a reward to catch catch that person?
$50K.
$50,000.
$1,000, which makes it. I'm very interested to know what would happen to that person if they got caught. Like 50 grand. That's a lot of money to be like forking over to someone to give a tip for a tree, right? Or a couple trees.
You've got it because
I mean-
because although it's
But I mean, those trees must be they must be really expensive trees.
It was
right?
like $350,000 worth of damage.
because it's morally
Wow.
reprehensible, but
wow.
I
That's a lot of money.
can't imagine that there's very strict laws that would sort of govern that.
Well,
behavior.
vandalism laws, like
I
vandalism
guess.
over
Yeah.
a certain amount, you know, like
yeah, right.
The
but dude, 350. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was $350,000 worth of
it's
trees.
about $350,000 worth of damage that was done, but
Wow.
also the money is coming from a private donor and like matched by the
Mhm.
Public
City.
Gardens
Yeah.
Foundation
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah.
the money is coming from the
Yeah.
Public Gardens.
Yeah.
By the way,
like the-
folks, I don't think we even mentioned it at the top of the episode, but Sick Boy Podcast is now we're transitioning into true crime. So it's a true crime podcast now.
Yeah.
And if you have a tip,
we should. You know what?
You
But
can
with-
DM us.
And the same with the gondola thing. It's the company that
Yeah,
runs
yeah,
the
yeah,
gondolas that's
yeah.
offering the reward.
We should
Yeah,
we
well.
should set out to make a podcast that solves these problems, and we run the business based off of the quality of work that we do that leads to the arrest and conviction of these
Yeah.
people. And then we could that's a great
turn
business
that into
model.
a podcast.
so we just
Yeah.
our business model is collecting rewards,
Yes.
Yeah.
like criminal rewards.
Yeah,
yeah,
because
yeah.
we're so good at what we do as
Yep.
investigative journalists.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, well, we might as well break it now. Bridie McLean was the one that did that shit to the trees. Bridie McLean, host of Turn Me On podcast. She hates trees. All right, New York governor declares state disaster emergency amid circulating polio virus evidence.
Jared's $50,000 richer now.
Fuck yeah, dude. Samples found in 5 countries. So polio, we thought we had it beat,
Dude, I mean,
but we don't now.
We're gonna see shit like this
Yeah.
over the next 10, 20,
Yeah.
maybe more years, just because of like the shitstorm
Yeah.
that has been kicked up by the COVID vaccine and like
Yeah.
the sort of culture that's created around.
Can we skip that? Can we
vaccines and all
skip
that
this?
shit.
Can we just we'll pause here. Can I have a quick conversation with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. So I know last time we were like doing some like fear mongering, you tried to like make it sound like it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
So I'm glad you took that feedback last time. I'm glad you're sticking with it this time.
Mhm.
So when we go into this again, you know,
Ramp it up.
we'll ramp it up. Yeah.
Okay.
And so
I just want to clarify when I was saying
hold on.
skip it.
We'll come back in now. All right, go ahead.
Oh, actually,
Oh,
no,
you-
no,
oh,
no, no. This is off.
Here,
the
let's have a
record.
little
Yeah,
question.
I was saying when I wanted to say skip it, it was because I was trying to convey that what we're about to talk about
It's
is
scary.
so scary,
Scary,
that
yeah,
we
yeah.
should not talk about it.
Right.
Okay,
So we'll come back
so
in now.
Hope you still
That's what I said.
right,
But
okay.
yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
knew-
fuck. Holy shit. Fuck, guys. New York Governor Kathy Hochul. Who killed you? Declared a state disaster emergency amid evidence of circulating polio virus,
Oh fuck.
a move that will increase the availability of resources, including expanding the network of polio vaccine administrators, state health officials said.
Shut it down.
Sequence analysis of wastewater surveillance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found poliovirus samples in Nassau County, bringing the total to 5 counties: Rockland, Orange County, Sullivan County, New York City, and now Nassau.
Does this scare you guys? The fact that that they
I
can go
mean-
into our wastewater, and then what's next? Them snaking up the lines
With cameras?
back into
Guys,
our
Collins?
toilets.
you want to hear something actually for real scary? I was cleaning my toilet the other day with the toilet brush,
Mm-hmm.
and I
You saw a camera.
I was doing the like underside of the bowl,
That's so gross.
and when I slinked across, I ended up crushing
Oh no.
very significantly large spider.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay.
I thought you were gonna say a nest.
That is not okay. Oh my god,
A
dude.
spider?
Yeah, dude.
She said like cockroach or a mouse or something.
Oh
like
my
that.
god,
Ew.
dude. I do not want a spider crawling on my balls or into my anus.
Yeah, but he won't because he's scared of you.
I don't know, man. Some spiders are ballsy.
No,
Like
no pun intended. Am I right?
they are.
I mean, if you get a ballsy one,
It really depends if you get a web weaver or a digger, because there's two types of spiders. You know, there's
Ew,
the
I didn't want a digger going in my butt.
no,
No.
no,
Because there's
no.
the ones that
Especially
make
if
the
you're gonna have a
webs,
prostate
Yeah.
exam
Yeah.
and then there's the ones that dig the holes,
Yeah.
and then they come out of the holes and grab-
But for real though about polio, I don't know if this is true. I'm totally speculating. I'll fucking look it up, or one of you guys can look it up. Is it true that polio was like something that if you got it, there was actually like a really high likelihood that it wouldn't really affect you at all, but if it did affect you, it was really bad. Like
I
it
don't
was
sounds like something you might have read on one of your QAnon forums.
no, I think that
No,
might, I think that might be true.
Yeah, polio. Approximately 70% of cases are asymptomatic, mild symptoms. But I mean, you know, which is like okay, that's good to consider. But when polio goes bad, it goes
real bad.
real bad.
Like you're like you could be paralyzed. You're fully paralyzed, right?
I mean, that guy in Dallas who lives in the iron lung.
Right.
You know, that guy just lives in an iron lung. You could your leg could like waste away and get shorter. You know, you got that whole thing. It's very scary. I mean, it's like if polio blew up like COVID did.
It'd be bad.
Oh man, I'd be fucking scared.
The
Yeah.
thing that's annoying about this is that the obvious solution is that just everybody gets vaccinated
Yes.
against polio.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like it shouldn't even be a conversation of like, you know, but
Well, what's this
like
article
only
saying?
70%,
Is it
70% of people are asymptomatic and blah 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 blah. Like
No,
well,
I'm just.
no,
I'm just
I know that you're not saying that.
I'm not taking a red or blue stance on this, dude.
No,
I'm just saying like I'm just saying.
Well, I don't even think it's
fucking-
political.
I'm
Like,
just saying
it's-
that like I think that's what I read somewhere, which I did. Are they saying in this article that like that it's due to something? Are they saying that they're seeing like lower vaccination
So
rates
they're
or something
saying
like that, or?
they're saying all these samples, all the samples are samples of concern. Essentially, types of poliovirus that can cause paralysis in humans. So it is scary samples. Bolstering the immunization drive, the EO executive order immediately expands the network of polio vaccine administrators with the addition of EMS workers, midwives, and pharmacists, and authorizes physicians and certified nurse practitioners to issue non-patient specific standing orders for polio vaccines. The executive order also requires healthcare providers to give polio immunization data to the state health department to help focus vaccination efforts where they are most needed. Quote, on polio, we simply cannot roll the dice, State Health Commissioner Dr. Mary T. Bassett said, warning of the risk of the paralytic disease among those unvaccinated. She said, do not wait to vaccinate, she urged. So I think where it stands right now is like, because it's showing up in the wastewater, there's a concern that there's not enough people vaccinated. Get your polio vaccines.
Is a polio vaccine like a one and done? Like when you're born?
I think so, yeah. Because like,
Mhm.
isn't that the same vaccine that like all of our parents have with that like pox scar on their shoulder? That's the polio vaccine.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure.
think you're
Like
right.
and it like sort of wastes away that little. It kind of looks like a really bad cystic zit that popped. You know, it's on like
had,
all of our like my dad has it on his shoulder.
my
I
mom
have
has
a
it
little
too.
card when Zaya was born. They gave us a little card, and it says like, you know, these are all the vaccines that you get, and like the time intervals after she's born that you get them, and I had that card, and I probably lost it. Well, let's see here.
Isn't it amazing that like that there's like all of these vaccines that prevent these like terrible diseases that used to run rampant
Interesting.
rampant amongst our population, and we now have a schedule when kids are born of like, oh, this will stop this one, this will stop
Yep.
this one will stop this one.
It's absolutely fascinating, and like not until COVID. I mean, we've had this conversation a bunch of times. Really, not until COVID, there was like a very, very small, albeit loud, very, very small sliver of the population that was like anti-vaccine, and now COVID came along and fucking
Yeah.
exacerbated the shit out of that.
Here's an interesting.
Polio is 4
here's
to 6 years.
An
old.
interesting thing about vaccines, specifically to the U.S. So past vaccination schedules. So U.S. residents born after the millennium, after 2000, were recommended to receive the following childhood vaccines. So you got Hep B, DTaP, HIB, which is Haemophilus influenza type B, pneumococcal, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, varicella, which is chickenpox. And then if you go down the list, that list of vaccines, the further you go back in time, that list of vaccines sort of gets shorter. So if I scroll through to like when I was born, so U.S. residents born between 1971 and 1989 were recommended to receive the following childhood vaccines: DTP, which is diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis, polio, and MMR. So it's likely that I was vaccinated with a polio vaccine. But
For sure. Yeah.
interesting to think about this stuff again now that polio's becoming the next hot thing.
Yeah, you definitely don't want polio.
No, you don't.
Please no polio. That's one of that was. Did you guys watch Inside Bill's Brain, the Bill Gates like series on Netflix? It was like a 3-part mini thing.
No, I didn't.
Really fucking interesting. It was on his like 3 major philanthropic focuses. One was polio eradication. One was
Turning poop into yummy water.
Yeah, one was like water supply, like safe water supply.
The third one
in
was
Sub-Saharan
the chips in the vaccine.
Africa. Yes, that's what they said. They said that it was nuclear power.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Like bringing back nuclear power with like better technology. But like
That was a guy's.
the secret underlaying that was chips and vaccines.
Oh, interesting. I thought it had something to do with the with Epstein's Island. Anyway, let's move on. Here's a fun little story. PEI school teacher, PEI, Little Island school teacher, stumbles upon a fossil that may be 300 million years old.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a long fucking
That's
time.
a fucking fossil.
That is.
This is coming from Stina in our Discord. Stina, you get producer of the week.
How does it get to the surface?
Man, how does it get on PEI?
Well,
You know what I mean? A PEI school teacher has made the discovery of a lifetime after stumbling upon a fossil that could be 300 million years old. Lisa Cormier was taking a stroll in Cape Ergmont Monday afternoon after she spotted something unusual partially buried on the shore. She said, quote, "I saw something that I thought was a root," she said. "And when I looked closer at it, I realized there were ribs. And then I saw a spine and a skull." Cormier took pictures of her find to share with her family. Her mother-in-law sent them to Laura McNeil of Prehistoric Island Tours. McNeil immediately contacted Cormier as well as other specialists. I feel like Laura McNeil, like she had 2 options. She was like, "Well, we could open up a tour business that does like prehistoric island tours, or we could do PEI Sasquatch tours." And like someone was like, "No, stick with the."
You know what's funny?
dinosaurs."
It reminds me. This sounds like it could be the plot for the sequel to Land of the Lost, and Danny McBride's
Yeah.
character is the person running
yes.
prehistoric
Yes.
island tours.
Oh my God, I love
John
that movie.
Calder, a geologist and paleontologist, was one of them. He said the fossil appears to be from near the end of the Carboniferous period and
God, I
into
hope I
the
get it.
Permian period. That's about 300 million years ago. Here's a photo of what she found in the dirt there in the old
Dr. Rick
red mud.
Marshall.
That's so.
Isn't that cool?
That's such a fossil.
That is a fossil.
It's a
eh?
fucking
Looks-
full-on
yeah,
animal.
Looks like some sort of like, I mean, I can't really tell, but it looks like some sort of like, I don't know, water dwelling
Yeah.
dinosaur.
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
How do you know how old it is?
No, but how do you walk? You
Well,
carbon
the,
date
the-
it. But
yeah, the paleontologist said that the fossil appears to be from a certain period, which dates it about 300 million years.
But how do you walk by that and nobody else has walked by that and has seen
Yeah.
that in
I mean,
recent
there's,
times?
dude, there's probably been like it may have been seen 1,000 times, and people just thought, oh, that's just a fucking
Just a
big
rock
dead fish or something.
Yeah. A fossil like this comes up every 50 to 100 years, he said. I mean, there's no real frequency, but it's super rare. And this could be a one-of-a-kind fossil in the tree of life, and of evolution of amphibians to reptiles to mammals to us. The fossil hasn't been identified, but Calder said it's likely a reptile or at least a very close relative. So a dinosaur.
Man,
It's like a
have you guys
Komodo
watched
dragon.
the second Cosmos series?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Fuck, man.
I do love that
You
show
do
though.
such a great job of
Yeah.
like of talking about the evolution of the planet and like the environment changes and stuff that, oh man, it's so fucking interesting.
He said, quote, "This is early in the evolution of reptiles from amphibians, and they're branching out," he said. "And it's going to be a real puzzle. It'll take probably a good year to figure out the identity of this thing." He said very few specimens have been discovered from that period, and that it could be previously unknown species. How fucking cool would that be?
That seems so. That seems.
You better
does
name it after her.
Does it seem dumb that that it would take almost a year to identify what type of? I mean, we just saw a picture of it. It looked like almost the whole thing is put
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
I feel like you could reverse image search that shit on
I don't
Google
even know
and it
why
would tell
these
you in a
fucking
minute.
people have to go to school. Like,
I just love that someone named Lisa found it, and I hope she's like, "Can we please call it the Lisasaurus?" You know, or like
Yeah.
yeah,
Because I
a
feel like we-
Lisasaurus Rex.
I said almost the exact same set of things in a previous episode.
we just having deja vu.
No, it wasn't deja vu. I'm gonna find it and I'll clip them together right here.
An excavation team that included Matt Stimson, Patrick Brunette, and Linda Burko were able to dig it out after a few days of work. On Saturday, Parks Canada staff carefully moved the fossil from its discovery site to a Greenwich facility,
Greenwich.
Greenwich facility that's been acting as a paleontological respiratory of sorts. Calder said it's not going to stay there for too long, as it needs to be taken to a paleontology lab to be seen by experts, which they will likely probably use a CT scan to get an idea of what this thing is. He said fossil finds like this one on PEI have become more frequent in the last couple of years, and he advised islanders to keep their eyes peeled. There are a lot more everyday people out there walking the beaches than there are paleontologists, and most of these important discoveries are not made by scientists, he said. Cormier said the find is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to leave some sort of legacy in the history of science.
Guys, I got another idea for a podcast.
Yeah.
Paleontological podcast where
Wow.
That would be really interesting.
we go to these places and because
We do the work of these uneducated fucks that are trying to identify what this thing is.
Amen, brother.
I'm just going to tell you a couple of things that I just heard there. One, he said it's been a couple years since the last time they found one like this, which means they already found one like this before. So it's just whatever that thing was, this
Well, no,
is
I
that
mean,
thing.
what he was saying
So-
was that this comes around every 50 to 100 years.
He said that, but just in the more recently,
can
what you were
tell
just
he's
reading,
dumb.
you just said in
Yeah,
1 to 2
yeah,
years they found one of the. But my point is that have you seen a school of fish swimming around before?
Yeah.
How many of them are there?
Oh, that's I don't know. That's
There's a
lot.
bunch of them. This
in a
guy,
school?
this fossil guy, wasn't just chilling on his own.
I mean, he might have been.
Could have been.
much
Unlikely.
could've been.
In a square kilometer around that area.
It's
I
hard
mean,
to- it's
really,
hard- it's really hard
if you,
to say.
If you really think about it, this little guy, this fossil guy, could have been in the Yucatan, and then all of a sudden, this fucking rock comes out of nowhere, and by nowhere, I mean the black of space, and it slams into the Yucatan, going, I don't know, 16 million kilometers a second, and fucking the whole earth just goes kabloosh. And this guy who was like, whatever, munching on a little fucking piece of grass goes, woo, sent all the way up to PEI at the time, which was probably
Still PEI.
PEI. Yeah, well, maybe it was just like mashed into everything up here.
Yeah, I know, but it was definitely still Prince Edward Island.
It was called PEI, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And just fucking went fadoosh, right down into the fucking clay. I mean, that red sand, that shit's just clay.
But there's no way that he was that close to the impact site. There's no way he was that close to the impact site on the Yucatan Peninsula because his bones are together. If he was,
dude,
if he
no,
just would have been incinerated.
No. Did you not hear about the Halifax explosion? The guy that was like on the harbor and
Yeah.
he got blasted. His full body sent pretty much to Fairview, which is a couple clicks away. And he landed, survived, got up, fully butt-ass naked.
No.
Yep, and was like, holy shit, what
Yeah.
the fuck happened? He thought we got nuked.
And meteorite impacts are almost exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Halifax explosion was the largest man-made
It's just a
explosion
different
outside
scale.
of that
So he wouldn't have been in the Yucatan because that's where the meteorite hit. He would have been more like in Texas.
Next to the Yucatan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, now
You know what we're saying.
now I totally get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're. Yep.
Let's move on to this twin update.
What is that
More twin
fascinating?
shit, baby. Keep sending the twin stuff. We love it. This is from our boy Tiny Hat Pat.
Tiny Hat Pat.
Tiny Hat Pat. A woman gave birth to twins from different dads, and docs are stunned by the super rare case.
Oh, that's super fucking interesting.
A young woman in Brazil has reportedly given birth to twins who were fathered by two different men in a super rare case
is
that
not-
has only happened a handful of times in recorded history. Now, this
This
is
is-
coming straight
No.
from Maury Povich.
Brian,
They-
are
but
you
they
about
can't-
to downplay this?
Yeah, because they're not real twins.
Well, they are, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're
Not
born
real
at the same,
twins.
They're born at the same time.
They are, because it's an extremely rare case. And it happened in the town of Mineiros in
They're
southwest
fraternal twins, though.
Goiás.
right. So they're half twins.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Young. The 19-year-old mother told the paper that she had sex with two men on the same day. Wow.
I am.
She's having a fun time.
Okay.
And she ended up getting pregnant by both of them. Whoa. They're
This is
not having a fun time, I bet.
This has got to be more than self-reported.
I didn't know this could happen, she told G1 Globo. The woman asked not to be identified. According to the report, the woman thought one of the men was the father, so she had him and both her boys take a DNA test. The result came back and showed that the guy fathered one of her boys, but not the other.
Wow.
She said, I remembered I had had sex with another man and called him to take the test, which was positive, she said. Both children were born healthy and are now about 16 months old. This kind of occurrence is super rare, but there is a scientific word for it. It is heteropaternal superfecundation.
So she had two.
Fecundation. Essentially, it can happen when a female body releases two eggs instead of one during a menstrual cycle, and the eggs get fertilized by sperm cells from two people. In this case, the woman had sex with two men on the same day, and each of her eggs was fertilized by a different sperm cell. This could have happened even if the intercourse was spread out by a few days, as sperm can live as long as 5 days in the vagina. That's
Dude, this
wild.
is what are the odds? Like, I would love to see the spread on that because it is.
Well,
that
here-
must be mega rare.
how about this? This case of heteropaternal superfecundation would just be the 20th recorded case of this ever happening worldwide,
Wow.
which means more people with uteruses have won the lottery than have had this happen in their lives.
That kind of makes sense generally because, well, yeah, I was gonna say it's difficult to have kids. So like to get pregnant by two people
Yeah.
in the same window. I mean, I feel like there's not as many people. What do you think the percentage of
So
people
it's
who are?
difficult to have kids?
It's challenging to have kids.
Do you mean like it's difficult to become pregnant?
Yeah,
I mean, not statistically, no.
statistically, no.
I think it's more difficult than people think.
No, it is, but not it's
Unless
much
you're-
easier to become pregnant than it is to not become pregnant.
I'm curious what the statistics
right.
are
It's like
of.
50,
right,
it's like
that really
50,
makes
it's like 15% of people have fertility problems.
Right.
So
But-
so there's 85%.
But it's also but also the time of the month that you have sex, like during
Oh,
the
yeah.
ovulation
Yeah,
window
yeah.
and stuff. So like the amount of times that you have sex, you're probably less likely to have. So if you have sex, once every day in the month, how many kids do you think you would statistically be likely to have?
31. Something like that.
Well,
somewhere around
sorry,
there, I guess.
wait, what's your question?
You know
have to
what?
clar- you
What's
have
the
to-
window?
I don't
of,
think it
What's
matters,
the
like-
window of like when you can have kids every month? Because you
there's
can't
like
have them every day
there's
of the
there's
month.
there's like a 3 to 6 day window, I think, something like that.
Right. So statistically,
It's very
if you
popular
had
in
sex every
Europe.
day, you're less likely to have kids on each one of those days than you are.
Statistically, she nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very popular in Europe to not have any like contraception, to just have your ovulation dialed in,
Mm-hmm.
and then just to not have sex on the days that you're ovulating. And that's
Mhm.
The fertility
that's,
method.
That's like a 98 or 99% effective rate.
Yeah.
It's higher than condoms.
Yeah, we talked about it on Terminal once. If you're curious, the mom added that both boys have the same father listed on their birth certificate, and then he takes care of both of them. Oh, twins. Love it. Love the twin stuff. Keep sending us twin stuff. I want more twin stuff. It never ends. And you know what else never ends? The promo for our live shows. Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary. It's happening in less than a week. We're coming to see you. We can't fucking wait. We've got sick guests lined up. Get your tickets. They're on sale now.
Like sick.
Check the
Fucking
show
like
notes.
fucking sick.
We
Yeah.
actually
well,
and sick, but like
And we've
just
also-
sick.
we've been getting our merch ready for this trip, and we just got a huge batch of jizzy jewelry in.
and
that
we're just
will
gonna
be-
be throwing it out.
Speaking
We're-
of-
it's just
Yeah.
we're just throwing
speaking
it out
of,
to the crowd.
let's just hit one letter from a listener. I believe last week we were talking about jizzy jewelry. If you didn't listen to the episode, it's basically jewelry made of jizz.
Oh, you know what?
And
They actually covered that on Real Time, Bill Maher's show.
oh yeah.
They were talking about.
And Taylor, I think at the end asked if anybody out there is planning to get their jizzy jewelry and to write us in at letters@sickboypodcast.com. Well, Sarah, a listener of ours, wrote in, and the email said, "Nope." So thank you, Sarah. Let's wrap this up, folks. If you want to support the podcast, you can leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, or you can just leave a rating on the Spotify mobile app. We'd appreciate that. And if you want to join the Discord, check the show notes of all of our episodes. The Discord link should be there, and you can come over, have a chat. We shoot the shit. Fun little community. You can also add to the show. You can be a producer, like Stina and Tiny Hat Pat. And we love you for listening. We can't wait to see everybody in Edmonton, everybody in Calgary, everybody in Vancouver. It's going to be really fun.
And if you have any thoughts or comments or stories that you want to send our way, please do that. letters@sickboypodcast.com. Share your thoughts. And if you want to be a guest on the show, go to sickboypodcast.com/contact and fill out the form.
And if you want to support us, there's so many other ways too. We do affiliate marketing. The links are also in the description. And we got an e-com course coming out next month, so you can also support that.
You want to get in early
we do
so that you're at the
donations.
top of the pyramid.
We're thinking about starting an MLM, and so if you want to be at the top of the
straight pyramid scheme.
right, yeah. So you can send us a message for that too. There's lots of great ways you can support the podcast. And as always, thanks to the guy who's always coming up with these great ideas for us, like our pyramid scheme, Jeff Lonis. Thank you so much.
Yep.
We really appreciate you.
Wouldn't have a pyramid scheme without you.
And to make it sound so official with cool ass theme music, a huge thank you to Rich O'Coin.
Also a huge supporter of pyramid schemes.
Oh, speaking of Rich O'Coin, happy birthday, buddy.
Happy
It's your birthday.
happy
dude.
birthday, dude.
to you.
All right, that is it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.